All right, guys, we are live. And as usual, if you're watching this part of the video, Sarah Max getting ready to send the link and we're going to get things started. So if you're watching this, you're probably watching this after the live event. And we thank you for coming and watching this part. But this is, of course, hosted on YouTube. And so the one thing that you have to do is to go in the comments. If you're going to make comments, you have to go to YouTube to do that, not on Patreon. But I'll have to explain that again. We have a lot of cool things to give away. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. So we are on Patreon. So when you get started, please just say hello. And we do have some cool things to talk about. Actually, we got some really cool things to talk about. But we also have some neat giveaways. And we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. So anyway, looking for a fun night tonight. Had a crazy, see people already starting to pop in. Great to have you guys with us. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you say hello. Make sure that you leave your comments on YouTube. Click the actual link and go to YouTube to leave comments. If you leave them on Patreon, we will not see them until after the live event because we're monitoring YouTube chat questions. And so with that being said, we'll just kind of give everybody a couple of minutes before we get into it too deep. But I have been to the Iraq Veteran 8888 shoot this weekend. And I will say that it was rained the whole day. The only day it rained this week. It rained the whole day and mud was everywhere. It was like a trudging through that mud with a hood, with a raincoat on, and people were just like lost souls wandering around. It was like a bad dream. But really talked to a lot of great people. Just had a really good time as far as that goes. What's really funny is I only shot 2 guns the whole time I was there. I shot a suppressor it's pretty cool. It was actually just approved to Delta Force. Incredibly quiet. And I shot 5 rounds through it. And then I shot a full auto AR-15 or M16 or M4. Shot 1 magazine through it. No, I actually shot 2 magazines, but they were limited. I think they put 10 rounds in them. But that is all that I did. Otherwise, I was talking and hanging out, which I seem to do best. But if you can't hear, Lance is over there on his usual Monday night drinking all the water in his bowl. He waits until we go live, and then he just drinks it down.
Yes, he does.
But that's okay. Sometimes I don't know if y'all can hear it or not. But we have some cool things we're going to talk about, but we have some really cool giveaways. And before we even get into the giveaways, guys, we've had some people to get upset because their answers were maybe first and it didn't show up right. And so they left Patreon because they didn't win the giveaway. And, we do the giveaways to make it fun, and just encourage everybody to join in on Patreon Live. And we've lost about 5 or 6 people that way. So we're trying to figure it out, and I'll explain when we get ready to before we get ready to do the first giveaway, a little bit about how we're going to change things a little bit. Because from what I understand, some people's servers send a ping first. And so they may have the first answer, and it may show up as the first answer. But because their server's pinging ours or something, it changes things. And Jeremy is the one that got in touch with me and told me. He said he plays Call of Duty, and he said that happens a lot. And so what we're going to end up doing is we'll wait. Once we ask the question, we're going to ask it, and then we're going to wait a couple of minutes before we announce the winner to let things kind of even out. Because I think the live chat and the regular chat do something, so whatever. But we want to be fair for sure. It's funny because there's some people that have said they've won, and I've said, look, get in touch with me and we'll send you something. And nobody does. They just get mad and they leave. So, oh my Lord, so come on, we're just trying to have some fun here. We definitely don't want to make anybody mad. You guys are, you're the guys for us. I mean, you are our number one. And it's funny, this week, I was talking to a lot of different content creators. We were just talking about Patreon and some other things. And you know, it's that you guys are refreshing because you support us, you believe in what we're doing, and that's just you're the guys that we want to please. We want to please you because we feel like, you know, man, you're keeping us doing what we do. Now, what I want to talk about right now, when we first get started, today I did something really different. I went to my wife kind of manages a homeschool co-op. All of our kids have gone through homeschool, and we've got one left. Sarah Mac graduated a few years ago, and then our son Seth also, and then Grant, our youngest, he's 16, and so he's still in the midst of it. And so they've been bringing in parents that talk about their jobs. And so I went in and talked about social media and about the advantages. And so we had a pretty good class. I mean, it was about 20 kids in there, and then parents came in because they wanted to hear about it. But just talked about how using, not necessarily YouTube, but using different ways to help with their businesses when they get older. And so it was a really great class, and opened it up to questions. And a lot of these guys had some great questions. And but one of the things that it allowed me to do, because I told them, I said, make sure that you're not just doing something to make money. That's a miserable way to do. I mean, you have to a point, but the big thing is do something that makes a difference. Do something that is your passion. That's a mission. And I said, you know, one of the things for us is our mission. What is our mission? Our mission, and I explained this to the class, you know, is to promote the responsibility of self-defense. Each person has that responsibility. And you guys know I've said this a number of times on video, but that is one of the big things for us is you can't rely on others. You are your first responder. I think there was in fact, it was a promo on it was about the Hellcat actually. And they had a police officer from Springfield Armory. He was talking and he said, you know, he says, I've been in law enforcement 25 years and I've never stopped a rape in progress. I've never stopped a home invasion. I've never, you know, stopped. You know, he said, you have to be your first responder. He said, even if we're just a minute away, he goes, things can really get bad in a hurry. And so that was a big thing. And then two, I brought in the survival side. And I said, guys, I said, you know, you need to be prepared. I said, you know, things happen. And so that is what we do. We inspire people to be prepared. And so it was a great time. And of course, most of these kids are pretty conservative families. And so they kind of already adhere to this. But, you know, it just was great to be able to get that message out. So do we have a question?
Yes.
All right.
Jim Waldron asked, Soups,
Hey,
did
Jim.
you see the picture I sent of the M&P subcompact?
I did. And you know what? I apologize because I meant to get right back to you, but this weekend has been absolutely nutso. And so, yes, I saw it. I love it. I can't wait to get a hold of one at some point. I have done a few things with Smith & Wesson. They have sent me a few pieces, you know, to do reviews on. And so I was hoping to get an email from them. So, but even if I don't, I'll have to go and maybe purchase one to use because that is something that I've really been wanting to check out. And yes, I saw the picture. Thank you for sending it. My apologies for not getting back.
He said it shoots great.
Okay, I bet it does because the Smith & Wesson line is just incredible. And to me, the new firearms they're putting out is just fantastic. So, you know, in fact, you know, it's funny. I just did the review on the Model 10 police trade-in. And getting that out and just the quality of that firearm, I mean, it's just fantastic. And, you know, I appreciate a lot of different firearms. But, you know, a Smith & Wesson revolver, you know, just really, I've had those for years. In fact, the Model 10. And it's really a big one for me, yes.
Oh, no. Lucian DeCalone.
Lucian. Hey, man.
Strebog versus CZ Scorpion shooting suppressed?
Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm a fan of both, but the Strebog to me has some advantage that it is all metal. And it's just, I mean, it's so solid and it just gives you a really solid feel for it. Now, the downside to the Strebog to me is the magazines. Now, the magazines are excellent. And they're Slovakian military magazines, so they're good quality magazines. But you've got the CZ Evo 3 mags that are very plentiful, And then you've got other companies that are jumping on the bandwagon to make those magazines. So really, it's kind of, it's kind of either or. I love the Scorpion Micro. To me, that really balances more with the Stribog. But if you want a carbine, of course, the CZ. But I am a huge fan. In fact, I don't know if I've mentioned this or not, but after I did the Stribog review for Nate at Gun Pro Deals, and I sent it back, and I was kind of like, man, I like that non-reciprocating bolt, so I was going to change mine out. And the Lucas, he's a Dr. Lucas, who owns Grand Power, who's the guy that does all the designs and everything. He sent me an email and he said, hey, he goes, we love the video. We really appreciate what you did with it. He said, we want to send you a Such edition Stribog. So I'm excited. I don't know when it'll get here because they're in Slovakia, and I don't know how long that'll take. But it's pretty exciting. So I love it, though. I think that both of those are great, but I think I favor the Stribog as far as more hard use.
Enigma asks,
hey,
how
man,
does
Steve.
Sarah choose what decals are on her laptop every week?
Well, change them out.
No, so it depends on where you're looking at them from. So sometimes you can see most of them, and sometimes you can only see a couple of them. They normally see the Trump one, but the camera's a little high this week.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually got my BCM Recce back up. And then I saw where Hickok just put, well, he did it on Patreon. He found, somehow he came across a BCM and just fell in love with it. And he even emailed me and said, hey, man, he goes, why have I not known about BCM? He goes, I kind of knew a little bit about it, but I didn't really understand or appreciate their rifles. And so he was all excited about getting one of these BCMs. And I told him, I said, the Recce. I said, that's the deal. And so he just did a sneak. I think he did an early preview on his Patreon channel. And so I was watching it. But yeah. All right. Well, I was going to say, why in the world I talk about that? But that's because of the back here.
Yes.
Yeah, but it had been missing. It was missing.
Brandon Wilson says, I haven't
Brandon.
seen the M&P subcompact, the Canik Elites subcompact, and the Taurus G3 have been taking the new pistol limelight, LOL.
Yes, the G3. Yes, that's what we're going to talk about some tonight. In fact, my review is coming up as soon as I can get to the range in the morning. I was going to do it today, but I was exhausted. I came home and took a nap for about an hour. I was like, oh, man, because it was a 5-hour drive down to South Georgia all the way to the Alabama border right there in Florida. I mean, it was right at all the corners right there. And it was great time. But, man, those things wear me out. But the G3, I'm going to tell you a couple of things about Taurus. For one thing, I've never been a huge fan of Taurus. I mean, it's a good budget gun, but it's had its quirks with quality control. But then Taurus would fix it, and they would be typically good guns. It's funny. It's like while they were making them, they'd always kind of do it okay. And then when you sent it back, it was done right. And then they seem to be great guns. A great thing is Taurus has reinstated their lifetime warranty on these, which they kind of stopped for a little while. So they have that. But Taurus has come under new management, and that new management has gotten really serious about upping the quality control and getting their name back. I mean, they know now, they realize whoever this is has decided that they've got to really get back on track. So they did that actually with the Spectrum little 380. And I did a review on that. The people at gunbuyer.com actually asked me if I would do one. And so I did. And I was like, wow, now this is nice. And it was very reliable. And then, I got the G2C, and Robbie Wheaton and I went out with this. And I was kind of like, because somebody I don't even remember who sent it. And they were like, I was kind of like, yeah, okay. And I took it out and shot it. And I told Robbie, I said, wow, that trigger. I mean, in the way it shot, I just was impressed. And I've seen a lot of people talking about the G2C favorably all over the place. I mean, people are like, we love the G2C. I put my Glock 19 away and started carrying the G2C and stuff like that. And so when the G3 came out, then I was like really wanting it. I really wanted to get this. And man, it's really created a buzz. I haven't seen a Taurus buzz in a long time, but this, beside the TX22, now that one also falls in this new Taurus renaissance, to be honest. And so it's 15-in-1, but it holds also a 17+1 magazine, or you can get them with the 10-round magazines. But the trigger on this, it's shocking. It's shocking. I mean, it's just for this budget price. And Big Daddy Unlimited is the one that sent these, or sent this. And the price on it at Big Daddy Unlimited is $214. $214. So I haven't shot it yet, though. I haven't shot it, but John down at Big Daddy told me, he said he shot, and I think he shot this one because it had some powder residue around it. But he said he was just ecstatic about it. And so I'm really looking forward to getting this out to the range. But that review is coming up. It's pretty exciting. Yes, I guess.
Troy Decker asked,
Hey, Troy.
Don, I sent you a question on organization. Can you give me some ideas on some things to keep my stuff organized?
Yeah, I did respond this afternoon. In fact, guys, if I know I got kind of behind on responding, what happens is before I go on a trip, I get kind of like, oh, got to get this done. I got to get this done. We had a software crash with our editing software, and I lost everything on the Model 10. I had the Model 10 video done and lost it all. I had to redo, I didn't lose the video files, but I lost all the editing. And so I didn't even get it finished until I came back in Sunday night. But Troy, yes. In fact, it's really funny because that's one of the things that we are working on right now. One thing that I've done is I have boxes set up for each of my magazines, because what happens with me is that it's overkill, because, you know, we do a lot of gun reviews, we do a lot of stuff. So I end up having to, there's just a lot. There's a lot more than most people. So magazines, you know, I kind of differentiate those. One of the big problems I have, though, are holsters. Holsters are a big problem for me because, you know, I may not have enough holsters to put in a box of one type gun. I may only have one or two holsters. And so trying to sort through that. The other problem is with magazines is a lot of times they're not even labeled what they are. I mean, Seth and Sarah Mack sometimes have gone through the magazines and there's no name or anything. And sometimes because we have so many different type firearms, it gets kind of confusing. So and I think I sent this when I sent the reply, is that I am working on something. And if it's presentable enough, I may want to offer it on YouTube if I can come up with something that I feel very good about. And that'll help me actually to be even more careful with setting up my system. So, yeah, but, you know, we always talk about the drawer full of holsters. Well, we've got, you know, bins of different holsters. So it gets a little bit out of hand. And then really holsters, magazines, that's, you know, now parts like Glock parts. We have a lot of Glock parts. So I have those really organized. But other type, you know, back straps. I mean, what if you want to change your back strap out? You got to find the box. You got to do that. So, you know, there's a lot of things to consider, but we're working on it. So I did send you a message, though. You might, you know, if you have time to check it, it may be a little more in depth than what I said here. Okay, Sarah Mack is signaling that we have a giveaway. Now, again, we're going to ask a question. We're not going to give you the winner at first. We're going to wait a couple of minutes and we're going to see if it adjusts, because, guys, again, please, we're doing these giveaways because we want to give back, we want to have fun. But we've, in the past, not even month, we've lost 5 patrons, and because, you know, people get upset. And I know some of you guys are like, we don't care about the giveaways. We're not here for that. And I know you're not, but, you know, I know how it is too, is when I think I might have won something and I don't, it kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth. And that is the last thing we want to do. So please, we've had a couple of people that have kind of been like, well, I really won that. I won it. You know, and I've told them, I said, get in touch with me and I'll send you something comparable. And then they won't get in touch with me. And then I feel bad, and then they leave. So we don't know what to do about it, except that we're going to wait, because Jeremy, my buddy Jeremy over at Firearms Fuels and Fabrication, said that sometimes there's a ping with servers and sometimes there's a delay. So it shows up that you did answer it first. But anyway, I've already explained that once, but just in case you're coming in. Okay, what we're going to do is we've got one of the this is one of the Ben Shot In fact, I'm going to pull it out. This is pretty cool. I've got one of these. I love it. But it's a glass been shot with a bullet, an actual bullet in the glass. And so it makes a cool conversation piece. These are pretty cool.
Lead-free.
They're lead-free. Yeah, that's good. Solid copper. And, just something neat to have and put in your gun room, or, when friends come over. And also we're giving away a BCM hat. And then typically we'll add some, stickers or some other things in with these packs. So this is the one we're giving away now. And the question is, okay, this is not a very difficult one. And as soon as I ask the question, you can go ahead and answer. What country produces CZ firearms? What country produces CZ firearms? Okay, we're not going to tell you who won yet until we figure it out.
Let's go back and ask some more questions.
Yeah.
While we're waiting.
We're gonna go back. Okay, well let's talk about it. Unless we have some questions. We got questions. We'll do that.
One thing I do want to say is Jerry Weiss is on here, and he said he got the new Stribog with the
reciprocating bolt.
Yes.
Yeah, the Gen 2.
Love it.
Jerry, send us your address. We have some stuff. We have something to send you.
Because you won something like 2 weeks ago.
Sarah Mac gets on it. So go Zane. They want to come over here and hang out with us, but it gets kind of crowded over here.
Also, USA Carry said, just got a BCM Recce 16 LW about 2 weeks ago. Love it. Just took a class with it on Saturday. USA
Carry? Is that Clay? What's up, man? Yeah, the BCM Recce. I've got a few ARs, and the BCM with the Recce particularly, but BCM rifles, they're no frills, and it's just like Paul Buffani at BCM says, they are gunfighting rifles. They are made for, they are serious about making sure that they're ready for combat. So you can depend on them. So BCM is just a cut above. There are others out there, and some people like Daniel Defense and, whatever else. And I do too. There's a lot of good ones out there, but BCM to me just has that. It's just that one I like,
Brendan Wilson says, I bought those True Glow TFX Pro sights in that link you sent, Don.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah, for the G, good. Yeah, for the Taurus. Yeah, sometimes sight compatibility, I was looking, because that's one of the things they were talking about, because the same sights that fit on your G3 will fit on the G2C. And so that was one thing that Brandon was asking about. And then I was looking on these different forums and looking up information, and it was like, oh, SIG sights work, and then, oh, Glock sights work. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, this is getting kind of crazy. So there were some True Glow sights that actually said for these pistols. So good. True Glow makes some good ones. Okay, go ahead.
Chase Kelly says,
hey, Chase.
Wanted to let you know, Such, that after my Fulton M14, I now have an M9, so I have both of my Navy service weapons.
Awesome. I have not had a lot of experience with the Fulton M14s. And I remember even when I first got into guns big time, and I would get shotgun used when it was really thick, before the internet, and always just loved those. In fact, it's funny, DS Arms that makes the FNFALs, they were always advertised in Shotgun News, and they were at the Iraq Veteran Shoot, which I know those guys. I've gotten to know them over the years. And that M14 from Fulton Arms, that it would be an awesome firearm. Okay.
Nancy says, I'm
Nancy.
on at least a dozen women's shooting Facebook pages. A lot of them have the Taurus G2C and the Spectrum, and they love them.
Yes. One thing, guys, to remember, because a lot of times we have a lot of experience with, the different firearms. We're interested in it. We know what's going on, with different guns. And, it's like, oh, just get a Glock. Sometimes people can't afford that. And it's good when people go ahead and make good purchases. That's one of the things. And one of the reasons why right now I think the Taurus, it's funny because a lot of people, and I haven't gotten to it yet, but a lot of people were really wanting to compare this to the SIG P360 and the Hellcat, because it does hold 12 rounds, and it is a fairly compact pistol. It is a little bit larger than both, but for a person that's on a budget, I think these are running like $179 or something. I mean, that is crazy. And it's a great little firearm. I've seen a number of people talking about putting them through 1,000-round test and doing all that stuff. I've only put about 500 rounds through this one, and it was flawless. It was absolutely flawless. But we're seeing other people that have put a lot of rounds through them, and it seems like they're really running well.
Also, USA Carry says it's Luke, not Clay.
Oh, Luke. Why do I think it was Clay? Okay, sorry, Luke. Yeah, I know who you are. We had a great time at PSA. We had a great time. That was a lot of fun.
Are you ready to see the winners?
Okay, do you have it?
Yes.
Did anything change?
I have no idea. I didn't look.
Is it on live? Did you go to
live? It is on live chat.
Go back to the other.
I don't think I can.
I'm telling you guys, we want to make sure this is good. Okay, we're going with what we've got. If you feel like that you've really won and you're getting overlooked, do not leave. Just let me know. We've got stuff. Okay, we got stuff we want to give away. All right.
It's Enigma.
Enigma. Okay, Stephen. Okay, great, good, awesome. Now let me say this, Enigma, you've won. Let's let other people win. I know I've said it in the past. Hey, just win, whoever, whatever. But we've got different stuff to give away. So next thing. One item, because we have about 100 people that get on here typically, and so your chances of winning, are not too bad. I mean, it's actually pretty good. So anyway, thank you, and we will get out this to you and some other stuff. All right. Yes.
Nancy actually has a question. I recently watched a movie where a shotgun jammed and the character just gave up and left it behind. What's the procedure to clear a jammed shotgun shell that's really, really stuck?
Well, I mean, that can be a real problem. You use that little lever typically, like on the Mossberg or the Remington, and you can pull it back. If it's jammed in there, I usually take a pocket knife and pull that shell out if I can. Just be careful not to hit that primer if it hasn't been fired. But really, it's funny. I met the guys from C&R Sunol, and it's kind of like C&R Arsenal, but it's C&R Sunol. And Othnius and May, they do some old, like especially World War I. They've got a lot of videos about World War I firearms and a lot of the history behind them. Very interesting, really great people. I had met them at the Greenville Gun Show a few weeks ago. I had kind of seen a little bit of what they do, and then they were down at the Iraq Veteran Shoot and got to spend some time with those guys. And if you are into really old type firearms, that is definitely an awesome channel. And so just check them out if you will, because I really enjoyed hanging out with them. Brilliant. I mean, those guys are smart. They are professionals too. They do things right. Well, the reason why I brought all that up is because back in World War I, they used paper shells. And so they were on the trenches, and that Winchester Model 12, they said that first round would be fine, but typically the other rounds would swell in the tube. And so it was really just a one-shot deal. And so I thought that was pretty interesting. It made me think about it. Are we losing our place?
Yes. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
I'm trying to make sure. I don't think I.
Okay, while she's looking for a minute, okay, we got it.
I found it. Sorry. Brandon Wilson says, will you be uploading any footage from the IB88 shoot, or will it be on his channel?
Well, there are a number of people. I know Mr. Guns and Gear just did some stuff. I used to do a full video every year on the IB88 shoot. I knew that they were calling for rain. In fact, Shannon and Sarah Mack and Grant, Seth had to work. They were going down with me, and we had this cabin because out there is nothing out there. I mean, nothing. And this place is the Arena Training Facility. And down in Georgia, I can't even remember the name of the town because it was a tiny little town. There was, in fact, the only restaurant down there was a Huddle House, and it was like 10 miles out. And they had the lodge where we were staying. They had it, and so we got down there, and we had rented this cabin, and then they didn't end up going because it was just going to be all rain. And I ended up not taking my camera. I did take my phone, but honestly, I didn't take many pictures. I was so busy talking to people the whole time I was down there that I didn't get anything. I felt really bad about it when I got back. But there is a lot of footage out there from it. Like I say, Mr. Guns and Gear, I know he just released a video from it. So, yeah, it's kind of bad, but no, I'm not. Well, I didn't even shoot that much. I didn't really do that much. So, I was too busy, talking to good old friends. Yes. Do we have?
No.
Okay, good. Okay, now, one thing though, it was kind of funny this weekend. I was talking to some different people, and one of the things, and this really led me to really want to talk about this tonight. When before the assault weapons ban, typically there weren't a lot of people that owned AR-15s or AK-47s. And I'll never forget the time that I walked into a gun shop. I was 18. I walked into this gun shop and there was an AK-47 in the case. And I looked at it and I was like, what? And it was like $300. And I thought, what in the world? You can buy an AK-47? I mean, I had no idea. And so from then I thought, well, I want to buy this AK. Well, let me tell you, the assault weapons ban, as dumb as that was the beginning of the love affair for, and I'm saying assault weapons by the term they use, but the military style civilian rifles, sporting rifles, they weren't even popular until the assault weapons ban was starting to be threatened. And then people started going out and buying ARs, AKs, G3s, all the different powers.
Rick Bourne wants to know what year this was.
It was before it was 1994 assault weapons ban. That was the year that the assault, pretty sure I've had a long week. But right before the ban. So I remember I had friends, because I was a little bit on a little bit later than that. I was a little bit on the edge by the time it got close to the ban. So I had a couple of things that I had bought just because I realized that you could buy those things. But once the assault weapons ban started, it's like I've said before, when I used to go to this public range, there was like 12 shooting stations. It was a 100-yard range. And I would walk down there with an AR and people would be like, because they all had their hunting rifles. And so I was the only guy with an AR. Put that forward 20 years later, and if you take a hunting rifle down there, you're the only one with a hunting rifle. Everybody else has AKs and ARs and bolt action, precision rifles, for like sniper style. And, I think it's really changed. And so while they had that assault weapons ban then, there weren't enough people that had anything invested in it. I think the big thing right now is America, the AR-15 is the #1 selling rifle in the country. And so, and then the AK-47, there's millions of those out there as well. So it's really changed the culture. And it's funny because they were wanting to stop it. They were wanting to put a stop to it and actually made it grow. Now, the reason why I'm saying that, and it's just like suppressors, suppressors, when a lot of information got out that, hey, suppressors are legal. And really a lot of that had to do with YouTube. When the word got out, people started just buying suppressors. They thought, you can buy a suppressor? You can, even machine guns. You can buy a machine gun? I didn't know that. I thought they were illegal. And yeah, machine guns are expensive and all that, but still, people can buy them. And so I think it's actually changed, that it was ignorance. So this is my kind of a challenge, because it really made me think about some things, is taking people, I've always said this about taking people out, but let people know. Not, you don't want to let them know about all your guns necessarily, but if you're taking some people out to shoot, take them and let them shoot an AR-15. Chances are they don't really even realize that those are legal to own, that normal people have them, that it's not just some crazy people. And so it's just funny, the more that we get the information out, and that's the thing about being on YouTube, and I know some of you guys that on here tonight, you have your own YouTube channels. That is the burn, is we've got to stay on YouTube. And I do want to mention this. I know we've got a giveaway coming up, but I had one of the patrons get in touch with me, Robin, and for your anonymity, I will not mention everything about your name, but moved from UK, completely anti-gun, moved to the northeast of the US and didn't change much. This is his story, he told me. And he said, because I was there, he goes, I moved to Atlanta, and when I was going to the doctor's office, he said, I saw no concealed carry. And he went, what? No concealed carry? He kind of thought that was funny, that they didn't have to have a sign up. And then he kind of started looking around and he thought, wait a minute, people are carrying firearms here. And he started to kind of change his mind. He said he was watching some videos. He ran across one of mine and some others. And he said, I went, you know what? I want to buy a firearm. So he went out and bought a firearm. Then he started buying more firearms. He, bought one for his wife. He's what I've talked about 1,000 times. And he just said, this is what I've done. And Robin, thank you for sending that if you're on tonight. I love hearing those stories, because it's giving people a sense of responsibility for their self-defense. And so, it's like Luke at USA Carry. Check his channel out. I mean, he does a really great job of showing different things about criminals and people doing things, and it alerts them to, hey, these things happen, and I need to take responsibility for my self-defense. And so that's one of the big things. That's my burn. And guys, that's what you do here on Patreon. That is what you do. You keep us on YouTube. And so we thank you. And so, and I told some guys this weekend, because they were talking about, they said, YouTube's really killing us. And we have some Patreon stuff, and I said, I know. And I said, I felt kind of bad about asking people to support us on Patreon. But when you turn around, you're helping us keep that message on YouTube, and we thank you. So, okay, question. But with that, we're going to do a giveaway. All right, we're going to give away. I thought we'd already given one of these away, and we may have, but this is another one.
I think it was the Pro.
We have, I think it was too. We have the Seeker 2 by Olight. Rechargeable. It's 3,000 lumens, and yet it has a lot of other features. I love this light. In fact, I've got one in my shop on one of the LDOCs. Rechargeable, batteries are included. These are fantastic lights. I mean, fantastic. I can't help it. I got to pull it out. Well, no, it's too much. But these things are like an iPhone box. I mean, they are excellent. But these are great lights. One of my favorite medium security lights. The question, and again, guys, we're not going to announce the giveaway for another minute to let everybody kind of settle in. But you need to, whoever's the first gets it. Is the 1911 single action or double action? Is the 1911 single action or a double action?
And we will ask some more questions.
And so we'll keep talking. Okay. Yes.
Rick Bourne says,
hey, Rick.
Suits, remember the HK91, the SAR 41 FNL, and the Mini 14 SS with the 18 collapsible stock?
Yes. In fact, the HK G3, I bought one. Now, this is how crazy it was during that time. I bought one for $800. It was at the time that they had just voted to sign it into law. I was rushing around, found one. And so in fact, it had a collapsible stock on it. That thing is worth a lot of money. So I had it for a few weeks, and a guy got in touch with me. He says, hey, man, I'm going to give you $1,600 for that. And I said, no. Well, I got worried about it because this has been a long time ago. It's been, 25 years ago. And so I started worrying that I was going to lose it anyway, because, I mean, there was a lot of talk. Once the assault weapons ban happened, there was a lot of talk. Now, all those are grandfathered in if you haven't. But there was just a lot of scary things going on. And so I just said, you know what? I said, yeah, I'm going to sell it. I hate it, but I sold it. He turned around the next day and sold it for $3,200. So I doubled my money. He doubled his. But, that's what I get. And then I could kick myself a mile for ever selling it in the first place. But, that was the time. And so we shouldn't live by fear. Shouldn't. Yes.
USA Carry says, yeah, they demonetized my entire channel about 2 weeks ago, working on trying to get it back. Good.
I hope so, because I know you have some really very high viewed videos on there. So check Luke's channel out if you can. And I don't know if he has a Patreon account, but if he does, that would be a worthy support, and check it out, because just a great guy. And it's funny because I think one of the videos that kind of got him really started was he was showing, it was an actual event. Now I can't remember which one it was, because I looked at a bunch of your videos since then. But there's just some great videos where there's people that are actual events, and he talks about it. And so check it out, USA Carry. So
Do we want to say who won?
Do we have it now?
I mean, we do. Like, I just was waiting.
All right, guys, we're gonna announce the winner.
So it is David MN.
David MN. Okay, David. Seeker 2, man. Seeker 2. All right. Now you win, you don't answer anymore. Or you answer them late. We want to get everybody on good graces. Again, guys, listen, and we've talked, a lot of people pop in and out, so I just want to make sure everybody knows. The giveaways we've been doing, we love it. We want to give away, but we've had people because they felt like they won on there, and it was kind of a jumble a little bit. Some people showing that it won. Some people, they get mad and they leave Patreon. And so the reason we're here is to kind of give to you guys and have some fun and enjoy it and celebrate, what we're doing. And when people leave, it's like, really, come on, man. That's just. But the thing is again, please, if you feel like you've won, even tonight, if we haven't done it in the right way, because we are really wanting to do it in the right way. But if we don't, please don't be upset. Get in touch with me and I'll be happy to do something. And I know, Rick, I know you told me not to say that kind of stuff, but I love you guys. Y'all are my guys, and I love this. So all of you. And another thing too is a lot of times I meet people when I'm out, like if I'm out at, some kind of event or NRA or wherever, and I get to meet people and then they come on here. Well, just like Luke, with USA Carry, I met him. We had a great time down in Columbia, and you get to know people, and I call them out sometimes. But let me explain something. Everyone that's on here is important. Everyone on here. It's not a clique of the people that I happen to recognize, because a lot of you guys I recognize, and it's not that. We are one. I love that group. I hate cliques. I hate exclusive groups, even though you guys have a special place for me as a group. But you're family. And so I just want to let you know that, because I know that was one thing that we kind of thought, we don't want to make people think, oh, hey, Nancy, because, Nancy's on here all the time. She's on Facebook, and we love you, Nancy. You know that. And so, but I don't want to tell you that, because we do. And a lot of you guys, but everybody, we love everybody. So thank you. Okay. Yeah.
So we love all of you.
Okay.
Now there's questions? Hearts.
Oh, y'all are funny too. That makes it good.
Yes.
Okay. While she's looking for something, the poll for the concealed carry or everyday carry, that was awesome. I love doing those polls. I'm gonna try. I was doing a bunch at one point, and then I hadn't in a while. And so it was really funny to see the popularity. Of course, number one, we're single stack, firearms. And I think I just put single stacks, so that could have been anything. But the majority of people did that. And then subcompacts took a dive down to about half, or actually almost a third of what single stacks. I'm talking about like the Glock 26 or, a CZ P10S or those. That's about a third of single stacks. But then the compacts like the Glock 19 and comparable guns jumped it back up to just under what the single stacks are. So that was kind of fascinating. But what I love that 7 of you guys carry a full size 1911 and 3 of you carry a full large frame revolver. I love that. One of my best buds in life, John Cochran, he carried a pair of ordnance, one of those big old P14s, with the double stack 1911, but he's a big guy, so it's just funny. And then 1911s, compact size, 12 of those. So I just thought that was pretty cool to bring in. And we're going to do some more, because I think it really is cool to see what people really do. Yes.
Joseph Anthony said, Hillary Clinton, the original conspiracy theorist. Remember the vast right-wing conspiracy?
She is so full of it. They just called her out because she said she had written a letter to NASA about going to the moon when she was a little girl, but ends up she was born in 47, and she would have been like an adult by the time that NASA sent anybody into space or whatever. And just like when she was at the airport, she was under fire there, and wherever she was,
Oh my gosh.
Croatia or whatever. And then a reporter said that wasn't true. So, it's just funny how it just seems like some people just have problems with lying and they never grow out of it. So let's just hope. Well, I don't think that she has a snowball's chance. I am watching this this Guilford or whatever, this girl Tulsi, and she seems to be gaining some traction. And that, to me, really, most of these Democrats, they don't have any chance. And it just seems like Beto is like going off the charts as far as retardedness. So he's getting less and less of a threat every day. But I think that we've built a culture, and it's one of the things I was talking to some of the guys this weekend. Before, with the 1994 or whatever, the original assault weapons ban, it was some people had some ARs and they'd go out and do some stuff, and there was some concern. But I think now, fast forward, I think that the gun culture itself is taking on a whole world of its own. I mean, the people are living by it. That's like a lot of times on my Instagram, I'll hashtag gun life. And, that we've taken the responsibility of self-defense and defending our families and, having the means to do so as a sacred honor and something to uphold. And so I don't think that the Democrats really realize it was funny. I know John Lovell at Warwick Poet Society. I was watching one of his videos and he was laughing because he said the true leftist, he said, are usually bureaucratic pin pushers and just whatever. He goes, the guys that would enforce the taking up of arms would be conservative military police guys, and they wouldn't do it. And so, unless they needed to feed their families or something like that, but typically they're not going to go against it. And so it's really just a big farce. And so anyway, it was just an interesting concept. Yes.
Right. Yes, Hold says any yeet cannon carriers.
Yeet cannon. No, it's funny. I've never even shot a high point pistol. Just never have. I've seen them. I've held them. They feel horrible. But, here's the thing. I know John Tappan, who was a guns and ammo writer for years, really about reloading mainly, but he did different reviews. And he was really big about 1911, custom 1911s. And he did a review on the high point. And he said, I took the high point out, and he goes, it was just as reliable as any of my 1911s with full metal jacket. He goes, it wouldn't feed hollow points that well. He goes, but with full metal jacket, the 45 high point, he said, would function. He said, number two, he goes, accuracy wise, he goes, honestly, it was just as accurate as my custom 1911s. And I read the article. It was kind of like, wow. He said, so I'll give it a 10 in accuracy. I give it a 10 in reliability with full metal jacket. He goes, but style, he goes, give it a big 0. But, sometimes that's all someone can afford. There are people that is all they can afford. And if it will function and be fairly accurate, they're not the people that are going to go out and spend a bunch of money on ammo and shoot them a whole lot anyway. But I've always said there's a place for that. There is. Yes.
Rick Bourne says, Don, did you read the results for the concealed carry BEC?
No. Yes. Yeah. The poll we just talked about, is that it, or am I missing something? I must be missing something, Rick. Could you clarify a little bit? But we did talk about the poll and the concealed carry, and I didn't continue to go on with it. Did he respond yet?
No, he hasn't.
Rick, let me know what we're talking about, because I'm drawing a big blank. It's like me and Robbie when we're standing here and somebody asks a question and we look at each other and say, I got nothing. But the concealed carry poll, the single stacks were number one. And then secondly, with the compact size, not subcompact, but compact size of double stack magazines, which I thought was pretty interesting. Okay, we got another question. Okay, we're going to give away now this is one of the original Baldor with the red laser. It's an Olight Baldor. It's a weapons light. And let's see. Oh, got to do that. But if I get to the laser, there it is. well, I won't shine in your face, but this is actually a prototype, but it's a great little light, and they just came out with the Baldor Pro, which has a green laser, but I haven't gotten, well, I do have one. I've got a review on it, but they don't have them in stock yet. But this is the red, and so we're going to give this away. And here's the question: what was the main issued rifle to British forces during World War II? Happened to be World War I also, but World War II, what was the issued battle rifle to Commonwealth or British forces? It's actually one of my favorite military surplus rifles. One of my favorites.
And while we
wait
on that.
While we're waiting on the answer, guys, because we need to wait to make sure that it settles in.
Steve-O says, here in California, we just got another group of new anti-gun laws. Do you think if the upcoming Supreme Court 2A cases rules favorably, it will help our state? ?
It can't hurt it. I mean, my gosh, what in the world? I mean, those people have gone freaking nuts. You know, I watched something about Sammy the Bull. It was on an Instagram post, and he was talking. You know, Sammy the Bull killed like 11 people or convicted for that, but he was just talking about. He was being interviewed, and he said, you know, he goes, good people. He goes, yeah, they'll turn in their guns. He goes, I'm a criminal. I'm not ever turning in my gun. I will get a gun. I'll get a gun from here. I'll get a gun from another country. He said, we'll make the guns. He goes, we will have guns. And he said, when these laws are passed, all they do is hurt good people. He goes, it takes away your self-defense. And so the people, you know, the ones in charge in California, I don't know what the deal is. It's really, and it's not just gun control. It's a lot of things. The homeless problem, some of the other stuff that's going on there. It's like, man, you know, just lost it. And, you know, a lot of people will say, well, I just moved from there. Well, sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes you have family, jobs, situations. You just can't do that. And you know, so I don't know. But what's really sad though is a lot of people are moving out of California and they're going to other states and they're changing the laws there to match the mess that's in California. I just don't get it. But I hope that the Supreme Court, thank goodness they're going to listen to a case or two or whatever they're doing. And hopefully they will make some rulings that will null and void some of this stuff. I really hope so, because I really feel for you guys in California and other states, but California just seems to be off the charts. And it's just wrong. I mean, self-defense is a basic human right, and taking away people's ability to defend themselves is criminal, in my opinion. Not my opinion, it is just criminal.
Okay, do you want us to look at the questions?
Yes. Do we have the question? Okay, now we're going to ask the question.
I mean,
answer the question. We're going to reveal the winner.
Okay, so I have a question for you. So does it have to be all of this?
Well, no.
Because there are some.
No, it can be just the first
part. Right. So what's the main thing that needs to be right?
Well, if it's close to that, I mean, because that is a long answer. It's the Lee Enfield 303, the British, or you could say British 303. I mean, that's really the caliber. So I would say the rifle is called the Lee Enfield, or what is the top answer first?
Okay, 303, Lee Enfield, and then down here we have Enfield 303.
Okay, this was the question. Please don't get mad.
Okay.
The question is, what rifle was issued? 303 is the caliber, so I'm not going to count that. So Lee Enfield, anything that
there is one Lee Enfield.
Okay, Lee. I'm going to have to go with Lee Enfield. So sorry, guys. 303 is the correct caliber, but Lee Enfield is the correct rifle name.
So the winner is Nick Healy.
All right, Nick. All right, great. So guys, if you get upset, please don't, because we got more stuff to give away next time, or we still got a couple of things to give away. And if you answer a question, you get it wrong, you can always enter
Try it again.
The next thing or next week, and we'll have more stuff. But, you know, the one thing is, and I know some of you are popping in and out, so I'm going to say it again. We're trying to make sure that the answer settles. Sometimes with the internet, and this is one thing that Jeremy told me what.
Jace Kelly was like, if my spell check hadn't messed with me, bummer.
Another thing we're not going to do, we're not doing the yes or no question anymore. And thank you, Rick, for that suggestion, because he was laughing. He said, I like to put no just to see how fast I can get no in there. And so we're going to kind of do that a little differently because that was getting kind of crazy. But so the last one we're going to do a little different. But anyway, so Jeremy from Fuel Fabric and Firearms and Fabrication, he told me, he plays Call of Duty, and sometimes there's a ping that has to go from the server to it, and some people have a delay. And so for them, they see their answer first, but the delay doesn't show up till here. And then after a few minutes, it will show up. So we just want to, that's why we're delaying it, because we've had some people leave Patreon over this, and that's just, that's just, I don't like it, not because they left, but because they just got upset, and I don't want you to be upset. So if you feel like you've really won something, get in touch, because we'll do something. Even we'll send you a patch, but we'll definitely send you something. So, and something, comparable.
Okay.
But, okay.
We only have 4 minutes left.
What?
So.
4 minutes. Oh, we're in trouble then. We're going to go ahead and we'll answer a couple of questions. We can go over just a few minutes. It's not the end of the world.
No, I was just letting you know.
She's not going to go see her horses now. So it's not like on Facebook, man, at 3:00, she's like, we got to go now. Here, click, go.
Well, yeah.
I understand. Because Robbie and I could stand here for another 2-3 hours. Believe me, we've done it.
Yes.
But yeah, one thing we're getting ready to do is we've got the G3 Taurus, and I'm telling you guys, Taurus has made a change. I mean, now if I compare this to, some of the other pistols, the frame, it's very nice. I don't know what to really say anything bad about it. It does compare to the Security 9 by Ruger somewhat, as far as the price points. I think the Ruger's about $249, while this is about $214 at Big Daddy Unlimited, which Big Daddy Unlimited, they're selling guns pretty much at dealer cost. That's what they're trying. They have a club, and then they're selling them at dealer cost. And it's a great price. I mean, $214 for this. And so they sent this for me. So I want to say Big Daddy Unlimited, check it out.
Chase Kelly asked, do you like the Mossberg MVP and 308 suit?
Yes, I do, but I haven't had a lot of experience with them. I have shot a couple, but they're great rifles. I've heard a lot of great things about them, and it goes, Mossberg, they're rifles. Now, the Mossberg pistol, the MC1, we didn't get through it. We didn't get through enough magazines to make it count. In fact, here's the box. It's going back right now. It's going back to Gun Pro Deals, which he was like, no, send that dumb thing back. We just had a lot of problems with it. Tim Military Arms actually shot 500 rounds, had a lot of problems, and then he said it started working. But I'm not going to do that because it's just a waste of time. So, and I've got other things that are better to do. I'm a positive guy. I mean, and so if it's good, I like to review good things. And there's too much good quality out there to bother with that. And really, if I'm going to do the fairness to the Mossberg MC1, and I'll just tell you guys, if I'm going to do fairness to this gun, I've got to find out why it's not functioning and what's going on, and maybe it's a sample of one and blah, blah, blah. And so if I have it on my channel, I like it. I like it, and I think it's good quality. That's just me.
The Bug Killer asks, are those made in the USA?
The Taurus. According to this, because I was wondering, because they do have a plant in Miami, and they are getting ready to open up a plant in Georgia, a big, huge facility. But this frame is at least made in Brazil. So that's what it says right there, made in Brazil. So now with Taurus, and let me see. I don't know that this one says Miami, Florida on the slide, the G2. The G2 says it, but that was a good question. But this says Miami, Florida on the slide too. Seems to me like that maybe they're making the frames in Brazil and then they bring them here, and then they're assembling them in Miami, and then of course they will be assembling them in Georgia. Here's the thing. This is the bottom line with these pistols. And I said this is the beginning, but just in case you've come in late. Taurus, from what I understand, has taken a whole management shift, and they've really focused on the quality and changing the name of Taurus to be reliable, super reliable. They've also reinstated their lifetime warranties. And these two guns, the G2 and the G3, the G2C, G23, the Spectrum, and the TX22, that to me is some of the new generation of Taurus that seem to be really good. I don't get paid by Taurus. I don't work for Taurus. I don't even know anybody at Taurus. So, and I've not even really cared for Taurus that much. I mean, I'm a little bit of a snob. I really am, to a point. But I've been impressed with these guns. Now, I haven't taken the G3 out to the range yet. I'm doing that tomorrow. So we're going to find out. But from everything I've heard and talked to, these guns, and again, like I said at the beginning, this is the first pistol in a long time that Taurus has stirred up a buzz. Beside the TX22, that was one too. But I'm really, this is a great feeling handgun. So we'll see.
We'll go ahead and ask the question.
Okay.
Because then I can answer.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to still take a couple of questions, but we're going to go ahead and do the giveaway so we can wait to announce the winner. This is a universal holster. It's made by 1836, and this is actually from Tagua. Yeah, we always try to figure that one out. But I did a gift guide for Tagua. They sent some, and for Get Some. And I just was supposed to do a couple of different holsters. They sent this huge box. So it's been great because I can give these nice holsters away. This is leather, really nice leather outside the waistband, and it's a universal. So it fits most of your 9mm, 40s, and 45 semi-automatics. And so this is going to be a good one. And actually, I was kind of like, man, I don't know. I might need to hold on to that one. But real good leather, and it's kind of that pancake design. I think this is going to be a good one. So anyway, we're giving this one away. We are not asking a yes or no question on this one. Okay. What caliber is the Mosin Nagant? What is the caliber for the Mosin Nagant? Now, Sarah Mac's going to wait and watch for the answer, and we'll announce the winner in a couple of minutes to make sure that everybody gets their answers in.
Enigma asks, what's the deal with the Cali judge ruling stripped lowers aren't guns and dropping charges against the guy who was building and selling guns?
Wow.
Did you not hear about that?
No.
Oh, it was like a big thing because they were like selling them to criminals and stuff. And I think there was something, I don't remember. I read some of the article, but I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Sounds like a payoff, maybe.
I think it was because it would, if they were to press through, it would somehow question their laws and stuff, and would actually cause a stir in
with some of their other laws.
Yeah, so that they would be in question.
Ah, well,
So
you
they
can
kind of
see
like-
she's up more on it than I am. Actually, honestly, over the past few days, I've been really trying to catch up and catch up with things. So no, that's interesting. I'll have to look into that. Of course, you know, these people, man, over there, there's no rationale to what they're doing. So I don't know. Yes.
Joseph Anthony says Brazil has a lot of off-duty police shootings. So I don't know if that's like from active self-protection.
Brazil does have a lot. Well, not as much Argentina, but yeah, Brazil and a lot of South America. There's a lot of video that comes in. South Africa also is another place where, but it's sad that the only people that actually can defend themselves are off-duty police. So thank goodness they're around. Yes.
Joseph Anthony also asked, whiskey. Sorry, I've been like drinking this. This is not whiskey. I know it looks like it. It's unsweet tea.
Well, that's what I asked her. I said, "Oh, we're starting off with a little whiskey over there."
I know. I'm sorry. No.
That little tumbler.
Gotta have it to get through. No, I'm just kidding.
You got to put up with me.
That's exactly right. I'm just kidding. It's a joke.
I know.
Yeah. Brandon Wilson says, "Ew, unsweet tea." Well, you know.
I mean, and she's a Southern girl, so you know, but she's been kind of on the
Trying to
unsweet
be
tea.
healthy. Okay.
Yeah, try it. I'm not. I like sweet tea. I got to have my sweet tea.
Okay. Do you want to see who won?
Yes. Let's see who won the holster.
Okay. It looks like Brandon Wilson.
Brandon Wilson. All right. Very good. All right. Now, here's the deal, guys. Please don't get upset if you didn't win, because we've got more stuff to give away. And really, with we have around 100 people that come and show and watch the show, and so your chances of winning are actually pretty good, because actually that's the whole hour, and a lot of people drop in and out. So if you're really looking to win something, again, if you're looking at it and you're going, you know what, my answer was first, then please contact me. Don't leave Patreon. We'll give you something. We've got other things that we can do. I've even got some nice holsters that I can send you or whatever, because that's not why we're here. And so, but we love you guys. Y'all just, we want to do. It's more or less not that you're leaving, but that you're leaving mad. Now, sometimes I have said on some of my videos, some of the comments, which I like to take the high road in my comments. Always, when I was first started on YouTube, people draw you in, and they're being ugly. And so, but I just realized, I said, you know what, I'm going to take the high road. So I try to always not get involved with a bunch of junk. And but sometimes people they just are being ugly, and they say, well, I'm just unsubscribing. And I said, well, you know what? Don't go away mad. Just go away. But I'm not talking about that for you guys. I want you to be here. You're our support. You give us confidence a lot of times when we're out there. And again, thank you for all you do, because it is awesome. And guys, we are making a difference on YouTube. We are making a difference. We are getting people inspired, the masses, to go out and to buy and to take responsibility for their own self-defense. It is a mindset. It is a paradigm shift for a lot of people. A lot of people they just don't even think about it. They just live their daily lives, and they're thinking whatever. And, crime doesn't happen every day to everyone. Sometimes it can happen once in a lifetime. It can happen just one time, and that one time, being prepared can save your life or your family's life. And so that is our burn. That is the thing that we really feel that is so important about the Second Amendment. Yes, we need to retain it. And so hopefully, looks like I was really certain that we were going to really lose a lot with some of the legislation coming out. But I think the impeachment process has killed that in the water, just dead in the water. And so I'm hoping. But that still doesn't mean that we don't need to stand for our rights. The Second Amendment rally is coming up in November 2nd. I'm just going to tell you guys, I'm not going to be there. We had something pre-planned months ago that I just cannot change. And when I heard it was on November the 2nd, it just killed me. It is Sarah Mac's birthday. And so we had something planned specially for her. And it's just something we can't change. So, but I do encourage people to go. And I always try to be a part of Second Amendment rallies. And whenever we have them down at our state capitol, I'm down there, and we will. But this is just one of those things. So please don't get mad at me, because I really feel it would be the right thing to do. But I'm really hoping that this is just going to be a confidence builder for our pro-gun legislators, and maybe send a little fear into the people that are thinking about changing things. So, we good?
Yes.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I just appreciate everyone coming. I mean, we really have a great time. This is my favorite time of the week. We will be doing Facebook Live tomorrow at 2 Eastern Standard Time, and with Robbie Wheaton, and that's a lot of fun. And Robbie and I just have a great time, especially if you have questions, especially detailed questions about firearms. The guy knows. I mean, he just knows things, and it's just awesome to have him as a resource. So, and he's just a good personal friend. We've been friends for years. So we just, again, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for spending a Monday night evening with us, and hope you enjoyed it. And thanks for Sarah Mac for putting all this together and keeping us straight. So be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic.